course, just last year, the president unilaterally gave de facto amnesty to millions of illegal aliens living here in the U.S. And then 2 days ago, when President Obama, without consulting Congress again, ordered that diplomatic relations be normalized with the fascist state of Cuba. That makes 2014 the year of the emperor, and not in a good way. Joining us now to respond, National Review's Rich Lowry, Democratic strategist Brian Benjamin, and pollster Dr. Frank I. Luntz. Welcome to you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Frank, the first part of the president's press conference today was filled with so many misstatements of fact that I'm just going to pick one. He said this is the strongest, 2014, the strongest year of job growth since the 1990s. He didn't mention that if you just count native-born Americans, people who are from here, there are fewer working than any time since 2007. This recovery has not worked. Has he convinced Americans otherwise?
We did a poll on election night for each American dream, and we got two findings for you. Number one is that more parents believe their kids are going to have a worse quality of life than them than at any time in American history, or at least since they started polling. There's more pessimism, and it's deeper. And second is that the number one attribute that the public said they wanted out of Congress in 2015 is the ability to work together to get something done. And so why is this president listening to the American people after this election, which was the most overwhelming? Why is he actually going out on his own and saying to the public, the votes don't matter, the election doesn't matter, Congress doesn't matter, I'm going to do it my way?
Right. And
it's big
Brian, if you really cared about working people who are underemployed at best, 1 out of 5 American men unemployed, you would never import millions of new low-wage workers into this country. That is giving the finger to American workers. Why is nobody saying that on the left?
Because you're not importing new people. These people are already here. And quite frankly, there's 2.65 million jobs are created this year. That's more than any year since the 1990s. That's a fact. So, look,
but
they didn't go to Americans.
Kind of jobs, but you'd rather have jobs, more jobs than less. And
I want 48-hour-a-week jobs, not 28-hour-a-week jobs.
Well, yeah, yes, and we want to move in that direction.
But can we be honest, Brian? Just like, hold on, wait, could we be totally
Jobs Act that the Republicans refused.
No, I get it, right? Job Act. But can you look me right in the eye and say, bringing in millions of new workers, which is the president's intent, and he's on the road to doing that, is good for people who are unemployed now, high school graduates in the U.S. who don't have jobs? Is that good for them?
That wouldn't be good for them. The only problem is it's happening already.
Thank you.
These folks are already working in this country.
Right, because we don't enforce our laws, and once they're here, we don't make them go back. And Tucker, it's not just a problem that people on the left aren't saying this. Not enough people on the right are saying it either. And there's a bipartisan consensus among the political elite that no matter how much immigration we have, we need more, regardless of the economic consequences, especially to the working class and lower-income workers. These are people who are struggling in our economy, and what we're going to say is we're going to flood the low-skilled job market to make it even harder for you to get a job and to get increase in your wages.
And where's organized labor supposed to be the backstop against this? Aren't they supposed to be looking out for the little guy? How did the White House convince organized labor to act against their own interests, the interests of their own members?
Look, in the end, there's a right way to come to this country, and I do believe, and the American people believe, that immigration done the right way is a positive, positive for the economy and positive for the country. You just can't do things unilaterally.
But every single poll, Frank, every single poll says people want less immigration. And there are very few
that is not true.
People, yes, it is.
That isn't
yet
true.
Total levels of immigration, people want less.
Are you a pollster?
Look at the polls.
Brian, may I ask? We have
11 million people here now.
Right.
This is all besides the point.
And we can't do anything about it. We have to. Right. We're totally powerless. We're totally powerless. Well, I don't know. You don't have to deport them all. You can deport some. But let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me just ask you this question. Only in a country where the media were totally compliant, totally in the tank for the president, would you have an administration able to get away with what they got away with, which is a president who 20 times said, I can't do this, it's unconstitutional, and I used to teach the Constitution, and then did it anyway, and nobody called him on it.
By the way, it's an executive action, which the president said when Congress gets its act together and puts a bill on the table and gets it passed.
That's irrelevant.
That's unconstitutional thinking on his face. When a president says, if Congress doesn't act, I will, he's almost by definition arrogating to himself legislative power. Exactly. And the reason why he said that 20 times is because common sense suggests the president can't make laws on his own. And he used to believe that until he decided it wasn't.
So then I wonder why he said, I wonder why he said that. At very least you expect at this press conference today where he called on 8 separate reporters, most of whom asked him totally puffball questions. Someone said, well, slow down for a second. Here's what you said. Account for why you violated a pledge you just made.
Do you think the president is accountable? Do you think the president got any message from this election?
Of course he did.
You realize that there are more Republicans occupying the House, the Senate, the governorships, the legislative, 69 out of 99 chambers.
Right, but in 2012, when the president won overwhelmingly, the Republicans weren't trying to play ball with him, John Boehner, and everyone was looking at the president like, oh.
It's one thing for the president to veto things. He can do all sorts of things within his constitutional power to block what Republicans are doing. What he can't do is rule by fiat, beyond the Constitution, the way he clearly is with this immigration order and with some other things.
But I wondered, here's my question. So the founders were really concerned about this impulse in human nature to install a dictator. That's why they set up a government with 3 parts, to fight against people's natural impulse.
Right.
So my deep and sad suspicion is that actually the public doesn't care as much as it should about the president acting like an emperor.
Look at how low the turnout was in 2014. Look at how divided we are by race, by age, by socioeconomic status. All these things that the president promised us in 2008. Our respect globally is at its lowest level in modern times. Tucker, this is not about politics. This is about a poison that seems to be injected into the politic. And to watch the American people who can't even have a conversation without losing their civility. It is a crisis in this country right now.
Do you see
and
that?
The president promised.
Fault.
Come on.
And what I'm saying is, I agree
Accept
with you.
responsibility.
We are more divided than we have been.
And what caused it?
But that has continued to be the case. What caused it? We go to school different places, we live in different places, and we look at the same facts and come up with completely different interpretations. And some of it has to do with the culture of our country. That's not all put on the president.
True throughout all of American history. From the founding on, people have looked at the same basic facts and come up with different theories, because people have different worldviews. Right. But what's not permissible is this president, I believe, on the nuts and bolts of governing, he's just not good at it. He's not good at convincing people. He's not good at establishing relationships with Congress or twisting arms. So now he's ruling by fiat, and that's what's just wrong.
It would be interesting, just for fun, to find a single Democratic senator currently serving who, after 3 beers, will admit to liking President Obama. I don't think you'll find one.
You won't find one after 1 beer.
I'm sure. I'm sure Dick Durbin would agree to that.
Really?
I don't know. I feel a Luntz focus group coming on with beers and Democratic congressmen.
All right, I'll see you at the Hawken Dub. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Appreciate it.